actually love seeing people progress and become better. So that's what my passion is. Welcome to the next episode of My Posing Coach podcast. My name's Amy Fox, and today I'm joined by two special guests, both very well known for lifting in pink. And when I say pink, I mean pink shoes, pink wristbands, pink straps, and pink weightlifting belts. So I've got on my left Jessica Kennedy. She is the current 2018 IFBB New Zealand figure overall champ, plus more, which I'll get to soon. And her partner across from me, Adam Wright. And Adam, you're known for many things, one of them being the strongest bodybuilder. So we'll talk about both of those. But Jessica, let me start with you. Last year, you went across to New Zealand, and we saw just flash up on the screen before, when we were off air, a picture of you and your family up on stage together. So tell me about that experience and how you felt.
It was incredible. I actually went to compete basically just so my family could see what I do. They'd never seen me on stage before. I'd never really seen me properly in the gym since I got serious about lifting.
And you said they'd never really particularly seen many photos either.
No, not really. They don't really have Instagram, which is where we post majority of our things. We do post more on Facebook, but I saw a show, actually a friend told me about a show that was happening with IFBB, and I thought, let's do it.
Why not?
Lock it in. And yeah, it was the best feeling. I had about 20 of my family members come support me, all front row, and just absolutely made the show 1,000 times better. Best show I've ever done, because of the support I had was just amazing. Looking at them off the stage, it was a special day.
Yeah, it would have been. And I remember you prepping for that show as well. And I would say, like in my opinion, from all of the pictures that I've seen from your previous shows, that was by far your best conditioning, your best package in terms of shape and symmetry as well.
Yeah.
And I'll hop over to Adam. Adam, what do you think her best body part is?
Well, a lot of people would probably say that, from on stage, her glutes are probably the best. So they sort of pop out. They're very big.
Yep. Muscly big.
But actually when she turns around and she's doing her back pose, I feel like her back is probably her best body part. I think it really shows a lot of detail, and it's a good shaped back. Got a very good V tape. So yeah, I'd probably say her back. But, the whole package is very good.
Yeah, you were very balanced actually, Jess, like very, very balanced on stage. And I know you put a lot of work into that preparation. And obviously, I don't know if it's genetic or not, but you do a lot of squatting.
Yeah.
Like, would you say that your bum's more genetically built, or do you think it's a combination of how you train?
Probably a little bit of both. We always say, we train like powerlifters but look like bodybuilders.
Yes.
I always, even when I'm prepping, always keep up with my strength training. So squats, deadlifts, and even bench press because I enjoy it. But yeah, we always make sure I'm always aiming to get stronger every single week.
So with your last preparation, and I have to tell everyone, you actually not just you didn't just win your division, but you actually took out the overall figure title.
Yeah, for the
whole show.
South Island, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty amazing experience to take that home with me, put the medals and the trophies in the suitcase for the ride home.
How'd you find taking them on the plane?
They were actually not too bad. The ones we got in Australia were actually a lot heavier, which was good. But yeah.
Yeah, it's good and bad. Depends if you have to travel with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we were talking off air again about your travel experience, and you said that you guys probably would have done things a little bit differently.
Yeah, well, we flew in, we flew into New Zealand at like 1 a.m. And then we had the Friday to recover, and then Saturday was the show. So I didn't really probably drink enough water on the flight. I didn't get up at all.
What's a good amount of water for you to drink? Because everyone drinks different amounts, and obviously it depends on the body type, but you're not really a big water drinker anyway, are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't really. Adam actually prepped me for the show.
I remember that.
And the last week we didn't really change a hell of a lot. We
did do a little bit of a water load.
Yeah.
And we were trying to increase your water just so that you were peeing a little bit more frequently.
Yeah. But it wasn't an aggressive water load.
No, nothing too aggressive. But having said that, I don't even remember you getting up out of the chair on the airplane the whole time.
Yeah, and even on a flight to Melbourne, I always get swollen, and it's like an hour flight. So New Zealand's only 3, but it was still made a huge difference.
It's funny because some people react really well on flights and they actually dry out on an aircraft, and then other people like yourself, and I'm the same, tend to swell. Yeah. And it doesn't particularly matter what you do.
Yeah.
So what would you do differently in the future? Obviously, get up, move around, drink more water.
I think all we would probably do next time would just be leave, maybe at least a week if I could, because that would be nice. A little bit, that whole week to just reset, get yourself ready for the next week for the show.
Yeah.
Rather than 2 days prior.
Yes.
Yeah, learning experience.
And you guys flew to Bali after that competition, and Adam was telling me beforehand that he thought your conditioning was far better in Bali.
I just think the temperature there, it's so hot over there, and by the end of the week, like, she just looked amazing. Probably the best condition I've ever seen in her, and it just sort of showed that maybe a little bit extra time dieting, but mainly just the getting rid of the water that she swelled up in on the airplane.
Do you think it had to do with stress as well? Like, finally you're on holidays and you can actually relax?
Sure.
So you might have dropped a little bit as well?
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. I think, stress makes a massive part to it. I mean, when she was all done, she wasn't working, she wasn't thinking about the competition, so that could have been a massive part of it. Yeah. And then in Bali, we just drive around on the scooters, having a lot of fun.
Chilled out. You're probably getting better sleep, and all you're doing is eating and training. So you don't really get that luxury back in Sydney, that's for sure.
I definitely think stress has a massive part when it comes to comp prep, and the better you can manage that, the better your condition's going to be.
Do you think that sort of stress affects girls more than the guys, Adam, from your experience with your coaching?
I
have you recognised it with both?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think girls or guys. I just think it's more individual based. I think some people react a lot worse to it than others. I think it may have to do with their lifestyle, their current lifestyle, and whether or not they can handle a lot of stress or not. But I do find a lot of people who are sort of quite stressed out. They end up holding a lot of their water weight or their fat on the front of their body compared to the back of their body. Yeah. And the people who are just a little bit more chilled out, they hold it on their back. So I know for me, like when I did my bodybuilding show, my back, my lower back, my areas were the last to go. But with Jessica, like, her back was shredded like 6 weeks out. It sure was,
yeah.
So I think it's just individual. I don't think necessarily guys or girls. I just think, just
everyone's different. Yeah. So it definitely does affect people differently. Adam, getting to you now. I've got one thing that I have to mention is that you've been known as being one of the strongest bodybuilders in Australia, and I asked you off air to prove it with giving me an example of what sort of lifts you've been doing.
Yeah. So on Tuesday this week, I hit an equal PB. Which was 320 kilograms for 3 reps on the squat. Yeah. So I did that quite comfortably, but I'm still in preparation at the moment. I'm still sort of just feeling out the weights, but I was really, really happy with that. Yeah,
that's awesome. And when you're saying you're back to that kind of squatting weight and things, like I remember you only would have been probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and you were having a lot of knee pain. Mm-hmm. Was it knee pain?
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. So it's sort of the what's the saying, the needle of the camel's back or something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But
the straw that broke the camel's
back.
That's
the one. Yeah. Yeah. So I was
bodybuilders say needles.
I went to a fitness expo and did a it was just a stupid competition, and I ended up winning a barbell, which was quite cool. But I did this competition where we had to do as many deadlifts at 150 kilograms,
like CrossFit,
as you could in 30 seconds. And I won the competition, but it ended up costing my knees. So
at a price, yeah.
Yeah. So and it wasn't necessarily that that exact movement was what stuffed my knees. It was definitely something building up, but that was the one that just sort of broke it for me.
Tipped you over the edge.
Tipped me over the edge. And I've over the last sort of year, I've been learning a lot and been figuring out what is actually the main cause of the knee pain. And actually, I've gone through a funny process where I've tried so many different things.
You have, I remember seeing doing different warm-ups, doing different techniques.
Yeah, and the way it's feeling now, like I squatted 320 for 3 reps only on Tuesday. The next day, woke up, I could walk, I could jump, it felt fine. Yeah. And the main thing for me was knee stability, and the knee stability was coming through my glutes. So how do I explain this? So my glutes were strong. I was doing a lot of hip thrust. I was doing a lot of these things to try and strengthen my glutes. But throughout the movement of the squat, about halfway down, my quads were taking over, and not my glutes were firing. So what was happening is I was squatting down, I was getting halfway, and then my glutes would sort of turn off, and the quads would take on, and then the tendons just got tired, 100%.
Worn out,
So for me, it was less about strengthening my glutes because they were already strong. It was more about training the glutes to fire throughout the entire
range of movement.
Yeah. And that's
so how did you figure that out? Like, is that something that, like, if I was looking at you, I could say, okay, now I can see his quads are taking over. Like, is that something you can see, or is that something you need to test?
I think, if you were to sort of just take a step back from all the information and you just were to purely look at me, and you see how big my quads are in relation to the rest of my body, you would go, okay, super quad dominant.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the basics, it's sort of, you can sort of understand it.
Yeah.
But then, why can a lot of people squat very knee dominant, like in weightlifting, and never get any pain and never get any problems? And the reason is because you can squat knee dominant, you can squat high bar, you can squat quad dominant as long as the glutes are still stabilizing the knee.
Yeah.
So it just, it took me a long time to sort of work it out. And then
I remember you getting quite frustrated because you were throwing everything at it.
So frustrated.
Like 4 or 5 weeks off squatting altogether.
I thought,
just rest
would be the fix. Yep. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not.
Did you come back with more pain? Because you'd given yourself a rest, or just exactly the same?
So I definitely let the inflammation come down, which was, I felt, wow, good, I'm sweet, I'm ready to go again. But then as soon as I went back into the old technique and used the old style that I was using in the old muscle activation, it flared back up. So I was very lucky to start getting helped by Paul from
Zydus, yep.
Yes, from Palliative Performance.
Yes.
And he was the
He's
one
known everyone as the bodybuilding physio.
Yeah. So he was the one who sort of, to me, identified it and said to me, look, what we need to do is we need to get you squatting throughout the whole range of motion using your glutes the whole time. So first of all, actually what we did is we started at body weight.
Oh, okay.
And we go, okay, once you're past body weight, you can then go to the barbell.
And did you find body weight difficult, like because you had to think about it?
Yeah, because I just wanted to go into the old technique, the technique that I've used for years, the comfortable way of doing things. But then when we got past a barbell, we put on 40 kilograms.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I've done 300 plus kilograms. What am I doing with 40?
Yeah.
But,
it's not good.
I just, I got no pain when I squatted with that technique. Really focused on feeling my glutes the whole time. When I got 40 kilograms with the 60 and then 80 and then 100. And then, actually in that session, I was wearing no knee support at all. And
yeah, that's right. You guys, would strap up before
So
big lifts and
I
things.
wore no knee support at all, and I kept building, literally 20 kilograms at a time from barbell, and I went all the way up to 300 kilograms.
Yeah.
And squatted no pain at all.
Yeah.
No knee support, nothing. And it was a really big eye-opener for me.
Yeah.
It was, I just think of all the crap that I've done, and it was just so simple as let's just retrain the technique.
Yeah. And I mean, like a lot of people feel that sort of same thing and they get very, very frustrated. But I guess the moral of the story is not to give up. Like just because one thing hasn't worked, there is a solution to it. You just need to keep looking. And sometimes it takes for you to stumble across someone like Paul that actually, says, oh, actually.
Yeah. Well, Adam came home that day and he was like so happy with how it went.
Yeah. And, I thought with Paul, I was going into a physio session. I thought I was going to go lie on a bed and get, massage.
Manipulated.
Do you know what I mean? And he just said, okay, let's just fix the problem. Okay, so, every time you squat, you get knee pain. So let's fix the squat. Mm-hmm. It seemed so simple, but it was so effective. Yeah. And now I'm squatting more weight than ever and absolutely no knee pain at all.
That's good. And Jessica, you were actually starting to get a bit of knee pain as well. Have you sorted that out?
Actually, I kind of. It's still a little bit tender, to be honest, but it's definitely better.
You found the same thing when you were squatting? Like, what was your problem movements or problem exercises that were giving you grief?
Yeah, I fell off my scooter and I tore my cartilage on my kney.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened. It took me a long...
And you've been told not to be riding bikes?
No, actually, no. But it's actually been over a year now since it happened. And
are you still strapping?
I took a break off that only for it was such a weird injury because for a long time I honestly didn't really know what to do. I saw, I saw some chiros, physios. I saw, different people to try and help me with what was going on because I didn't know even what the problem was with my knee. It was such a weird feeling because I can squat, walk, do anything with no pain, and then as soon as I would touch it, it would flare up. I would hop on the bed and I'd get all this inflammation in my knee again. So I didn't know or understand quite what was going on.
I think like you've always got to keep sourcing out, other people for other options. Like, you went to this one guy for a little bit of time and it didn't really start getting anywhere. And then you found another option and, you just got to keep
testing the waters.
Yeah, because,
different modalities as well.
Well, I actually finally ended up getting a MRI, which is what told me the cause of it, which was was like a peace of mind. Okay, I know what's actually wrong with my knee. Mm-hmm. But I stopped wearing knee sleeves only because the pressure of the sleeve was just hurting.
That was too much.
And I was kind of just watching my squats a little bit. I was still squatting because, it wasn't causing me any pain. I wasn't getting any after pain of it. I was just kind of monitoring it.
Yeah.
And it's been getting better. I've been doing a lot of similar kind of rehab stuff to what Adam was doing for his knee, just to kind of see
if that works. Yeah.
See if that was going to work. For me, I probably just needed to work on even a little bit more of my warming up. I tend to speed up that process sometimes.
I've told you this with your upper body and your shoulder training because we were talking about it with your back lat spread.
Yes,
your back lat spread and your shoulders were a little bit adhesed and tight.
I sometimes get a little bit impatient.
Yeah, that's normal. Right. Impatient, lazy.
Yeah. But no, I'm definitely better. My knee is. I can touch it now
without jumping through the roof.
Without pain, yeah. So it's a lot better. I don't even really think about it, but it's still a little bit there.
A little bit grabby. Well, I hope you find a solution or something that can actually help it and fix it, and don't give up looking.
No.
Adam, getting back to you, prep for your Pro Raw competition, and that's a powerlifting competition. That's happening March next year, so March 2020 at the Arnold's. So you've started preparing for this lift already.
Yes.
Is it just a squat or have you got the 3?
So it's all 3 lifts. It's a invite only competition, and I was invited to it 2 years ago. I didn't go last year, and technically I'm not invited yet. So I will be doing another competition before
to qualify to get the invite.
It's sort of a bit funny, like. You don't even necessarily have to do a competition to get invited. You just have to be strong.
Yes.
One of the strongest in the country, and you'll get an invite. But having said that, for my own self, I want to get back on the platform, and I want to do a competition to know that I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
After a 2-year break, and then when I feel comfortable, get the invite.
Yeah.
And go do the competition. But the way things are tracking at the moment, I'm feeling very, very confident.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
And you're also moving up a weight class as well,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Are you?
Yeah.
So what would your weight class be?
So annoyingly, Pro Raw, they have very large weight class jumps. So you can either be under 80 kilograms or you can be under 95 kilograms.
That's massive.
Or you can be under 110 kilograms.
Yeah.
So, the jump between these guys, and the guys who are 110, most of them are 120 off season.
Wow.
And then cutting down and being 109.9 on the day. And so, but I just can't make the 95 class anymore.
Yeah.
2 years ago I did, and I was pretty lean to get into it. So
and did you sort of kill yourself to get there? Was it almost like a bodybuilding prep in the end to make weight?
I wouldn't say I killed myself, but I was definitely eating healthy, and
you were still kind of dieting.
Yeah, I was still dieting.
Whereas now you're definitely not dieting.
Yeah, or dieting for a different purpose.
Yeah.
So just in comparison, and I think it was only about maybe a 6 months difference between Pro Raw and my last bodybuilding competition. Was it that one?
Something like that.
Yeah, October to March, something like that. And when I was on stage, I was 90 kilograms. Yeah. So only 5 kilos off my stage weight. Yeah. So I was still pretty lean. I would say like
Adam,
9%.
when you get leaner, does that really affect your strength? Like, does that change a hell of a lot?
Yeah, it can. You just got to monitor it. It's sort of like fuel in a car. You know, like if you're not giving your fuel to the car, you're just not going to have any go. So it's more to do with how much food you're consuming rather than how lean you are, I think. I think body weight definitely will have some sort of effect. I mean, being heavier now, I weigh 114 kilograms now.
Yep.
And I'm definitely stronger at this body weight than I am now.
So, Adam, how many calories do you eat to actually maintain, 114 kilos?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I do a lot of steps as well. Jessica's laughing.
We have like a step competition almost every day. Message me is like, how many steps have you done today?
So I do a lot of steps, and it's not even intentional, like except for when I'm trying to beat Jessica. But
he walks around in circles around the house.
But because I'm doing a lot of steps, and because I'm trying to keep my body weight high, I have to consume a lot of calories, and I'm not tracking, but I would definitely assume it would be 6,000 calories plus. Like I'm consuming a lot of shakes that which is probably not the best way to gain weight, but honestly,
you struggle to.
Yeah, I just don't have a great appetite. We went down to Melbourne for a week, and I didn't have my high calorie bulking shakes, which I have about 2 to 3 of a day. And we were there for a week, and I dropped 4.5 kilos. So,
Jessica, does he get really depressed when he drops weight?
He does. He got home and
has he got the megorexia?
He was not very happy. He looked on the scale and he's
thought he was going to cry.
Yeah.
I just know how hard it is to get those kilos back. So, it's a lot of calories. It's a lot of food. Actually, no, it's not a lot of food. I probably only have about 4 big meals, and the rest I just top it up with as many like shakes as I can. Yeah.
Have you got particular brands that you use? Like, do you find certain brands like sit better in your stomach?
No, actually, I handle all those shakes pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't really bloat up or anything like that.
Because some people do with the excess carbs
Yeah.
and things, don't they?
I think anyone can sort of handle it. I think you just got to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
you do like when you have the pure carb stuff, you tend to bloat up when you have that with the protein.
Yeah, so I do. Yeah, because when I ran out of my one that it's pre-mixed, whatever, I started just having pure multidextrin with a bit of protein, and I was having like 300 grams of multidextrin a day, and that was bloating me up like a balloon. But I would not suggest that to anyone.
Yeah.
Don't have that much in a day.
Does he get smelly, Jessica? You know, when you just notice when people like aren't coping with their protein shakes very well and they're in the gym and you're like, what the hell is that smell?
Yeah, at night time.
Yeah, no.
I'd say it would be more his snoring that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do you notice a certain weight that you get to where your snoring kicks in?
Yeah, so as soon as we went down to Melbourne, I dropped, as I say, 4.5 kilos, and I went from 112 at the time down to 108. And when I was 108, I slept really well. Like,
So healthy.
yeah, I was
A lean bean.
I was not even snoring. I wasn't even doing anything. And then as soon as I clocked over that 110 mark, it was back. Jessica was back on the couch.
Poor Jessica.
I've actually gotten used to it now. It's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, but I noticed the same thing with Justin. Like he hits a certain weight, and then the snoring is out of
Yeah.
control. But
Yeah.
when he drops down and he's getting leaner,
It just goes away.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
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 But I never get a rest because it's either him snoring or the dog, like one or two. So there's no rest.
No, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jessica, you've also got a powerlifting title as well. So an under 52 kilo.
Yeah, I was very little then.
So that's half Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did that together actually, that powerlifting show.
Did you coach Jessica?
No,
we-
I had a different coach
Yeah.
for this one. That was with Sarah.
Powerlifting?
Um,
I don't think so.
yeah, she did coach me for that as well. Yeah, it was. How long ago was that? Like
Just claim it. Just claim
Yes.
it.
2.5 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we prepped for a bodybuilding and powerlifting show. So the powerlifting show was 4 weeks out from the bodybuilding.
Wow.
Which is why
That's
I
probably
was so
not a
light.
bad range, actually, just before you start depleting and cutting
Yeah.
severely.
It was really nice to just have that extra goal,
Drive, yeah.
to aim for. I mean, even now I always train for strength, always aiming to get stronger in every prep that I do. And then, we just thought, well, let's do this powerlifting show as something extra, to aim for while we're prepping. And, yeah.
Didn't, Adam, you were saying before that Jess took out the title in, what lift was it?
Actually,
what
in the
was
bench
the,
press, she for weight class 52 kilo got the Australian record at the time. I don't
Oh,
know if it's
wow.
At
still-
my age, yeah. No,
And what is that record? Like, what was the
it
record?
was 62.5 then.
So you benched more than your body weight.
Yeah.
That's pretty
bench-
crazy,
She
actually.
can bench a lot more now, though.
Definitely a lot stronger now, but it was a good feeling back then.
And that's meant to be like a good benchmark, isn't it? If you can bench your body weight, like that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
for a female, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did you do the other day, like for 20 reps?
50 kilos, yeah.
There you
20
go.
reps,
There you
yeah.
go.
Oh, wow.
So she can bench a lot more now.
Yeah.
So would you say that bench is your best lift out of those three?
You know, she's
No,
she's an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, she's really, really all-rounder.
I haven't actually tried to, because of my knee problem though, I haven't really tried to test out a really heavy squat in a while. I mean, by heavy, I still, go up to 130, 140, but I probably am capable of doing more. But deadlift is it's looking pretty good at the moment. But
What's your deadlift?
I did 150 for 5 reps. Yeah. So, I mean, I could probably pull, 160, 170. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
But her body weight is really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, would you do another powerlifting competition, Jessica? Or are you sticking
honestly-
to more of the figure?
Yeah, honestly, probably not. I mean, I'll always train, as I said, to get stronger because I enjoy that type of training and I think it helps with my physique. But honestly, the girls in the weight classes now are ridiculously strong.
Are they? Yeah.
And I mean, I could probably do it, but I mean, I don't. My passion is honestly bodybuilding. I enjoy getting up on stage more than I do competing for powerlifting. I just enjoy training powerlifting.
That's what we always say. Like we train like powerlifters to look like bodybuilders.
Like a bodybuilder, yeah.
You know, so.
And I love prepping for bodybuilding shows. I love being up on stage. It's definitely more my passion than competing for that.
So in terms of being a powerlifter or training like a powerlifter and then leading into a bodybuilding show, what do you say to those people that say, oh, you can't lift like a powerlifter because you'll get a thick waist?
Look, you will increase your core a little bit, okay, but it all comes down to how much you control it. So, we do the little tactics like wearing a belt when training, or I think in the last 4 to 6 weeks, we started wearing a tight corset sort of thing to really bring it in. And I don't think either of us had a big waist on stage.
Well, that's the thing, you didn't. Like, neither of you had thick waists, and from what I've seen with your lifts, like they are very powerlifting dominant anyway, so it's just interesting. And
I would definitely say, of the girls that Jessica went up against, she definitely would have had the biggest squat and deadlift on stage, and her waist was not big at all. So I think it's just controlling it,
Everyone's different again, though. I mean, for someone it might, I don't know, but I don't know. So everyone has their own different thoughts about it. But
that's right.
I mean, we will always, I think our physiques prove otherwise anyway.
That's right. So you're, and even if people's bodies do respond differently, your physiques can handle doing those lifts without thickening up too much through the waist. So you're lucky. So you get the benefits of the, bigger muscle growth in those areas that are needed and the small waist.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys are online coaches, and Jessica, I would say you're a strength and nutrition coach.
Yeah. I probably do more of the nutrition stuff because I've done my courses and qualified for that, whereas Adam is more does the programming side of things for our online business.
It's just a really good split. So
So you both work on the same clients, it's like a two-team thing.
Yeah.
Like the way we do it is we create a WhatsApp group chat.
Yep.
So there's Jessica, me, and the client, and then like anything nutrition related, Jessica will comment on or do, and anything programming related, like if they're sending me through a video of them lifting or they need technique feedback or even just the programming itself, that's where I come into it.
Yeah, it works really, really well.
I think it takes sort of like when you have multiple clients, you're not spending too much time on each one. So you can really ensure that your aspect to that client is 100%. It means you can sort of handle a few more as well. Just splitting the load has worked really well.
And Jessica, you're gym manager at the moment. So you're doing some of the online stuff and managing a gym as well.
I currently manage a fairly new franchise. It's called Bodyfit Training. It's a new strength and conditioning group training mixture of weightlifting and cardio.
Yeah,
essentially.
Cool. But do you get a lot of beginners? Like, what's your clientele like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely get a lot of beginners in there, which is, I think, standard for most group
gyms.
fitness studios. But, you still get your higher levels as well come in there and do the classes and things like that as well.
So what sort of classes do you offer? Like, what are the classes like?
So we have, there's actually over 11 different programs. So we have huge range from strength classes, which you actually do your squats, your deadlifts, your bench press, and then also your cardio classes. We have your HIIT style or your HIIT, which is your high intensity resistance training. We have one called XTX, which is almost like
softer version of CrossFit.
Softer version of CrossFit.
Okay,
but it's awesome. It's I guess because it has what sold it, I guess, is because it has that strength aspect to it.
Yeah.
So it's not
that's where you're
just your
passion
normal, group fitness studio or franchise. It has that strength aspect, which is what, both Adam and I are passionate about coaching. So it's, easy to coach, sell to people, and help them.
Sort of what I noticed is a lot of people who may have started with like the F45 concept have sort of then merged from that. They've sort of advanced from that. They want something a little bit more challenging, so they're going to the next level up. So
F45 would be probably more like your beginner's introduction, and then the studio that you're at now, more the intermediate.
So Jessica was managing an F45 studio up until recently. And now this one that she's managing, Bodyfit Training, just resonates better with her. It sort of brings in it's the strength, which she is all about, and the conditioning, which she brings from like bodybuilding as well. So it's just a perfect mix. And you see a lot of ex F45 members coming across because they want that little bit extra.
That's cool.
Strength, which F45 is just not offering.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a gap there, so take advantage of it.
And also one of your clients I was talking to, or members I was talking to the other day, who is an ex-CrossFitter, who's coming across here because he was getting injured too many times, and the programming in the strength and conditioning is just so much more well suited to him, where he had a few injuries, whereas now he's not getting injured at all.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like you said, Adam, like it's a simple fix, and sometimes when you're doing fast lifts, that's what it's about. Like the other gyms, fast lifts you've only got a certain amount of time. If your body's not healthy, you're at a high risk of flaring things up.
Yeah. Like when they
I was going to say that because Bodyfit Training also, because they run off the MyZone technology as well, and also use the Evolt scanner. So in each exercise for the program of the day, we'll go for strength class versus the cardio. It'll actually tell you the heart rate that you're expected to be at for that exercise. So obviously for a strength day for a squat, you're not going to be working at a 90% percent of your heart rate, because it's going to be your cardio workout. So actually programs and personalizes it a little bit more. So
it slows them down and makes sure they're actually focusing on strength rather than...
Which is very difficult for beginners because they feel like they're not doing the... they feel like they need that pump.
With like a sweat on and...
Yeah, exactly. And in the beginning, it's very difficult to convince them. Like you can tell them as much as you like, but they need to hit that plateau of, not getting further ahead with their strength and not getting further ahead with their weight loss before they're actually like, okay, now what I'm doing, getting my heart rate up, is actually not working. I need to do the next step. Then they're more open to listening. But in the beginning, forget it.
So this is a concept that we're really passionate about, and we're actually now getting involved in as well. So we've purchased into the business and looking for the right place to open it. So.
Which is why I have transitioned into managing the studio. So
understanding the background so that you guys can eventually run your own facility. The way you want to run it. And it's pretty exciting actually. But you guys, you've been in the process of, you've had this goal for a really long time of starting up your own business, but it's difficult in Sydney.
When we moved to Sydney, we've been in Sydney for 2.5 years now.
Almost 2 years.
Oh, okay, way ahead. 2 years.
Seems like
feels
longer.
like longer, but you said, I remember when you wanted to open up together, wanted to open up a gym when we come to Sydney.
And then we found this concept, which is just
right up your alley.
Yeah, we love it. So it's we think it's the perfect concept, and that's why can't wait to get involved. But it is like you're saying, very difficult in Sydney. The areas that we're trying to open it, to find the right place. So anyone out there, if you've know anything in Bondi, Paddington,
talk to Harry. Talk to Harry.
If it's out west, forget it.
Harry will tell you as well, anything that's worth doing, it's going to take time, and it takes a lot longer than you expect. Harry, would you say, have your time frame and then bloody double it or triple it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I always tell Amy, just
Hold your horses.
Yeah.
Isn't that something similar in one of Grant Cardone's books? Actually, he talks about whatever goal you're thinking, double the amount of time that you're thinking of doing it. Yeah. Something along those lines. I remember hearing
Everything
that
takes
anyway.
longer than
Yeah.
you expect. Because
Jessica loves Grant Cardone.
podcasts.
Yeah, I've listened to them a lot.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys actually, do you have mentors, or I know you've both got a new coach. Tell me about that. Like, is there anyone you kind of look up to, or, and then, talk about your coach.
I'll let Adam go with his. His one's probably
So for me,
new.
it's really hard for me to take someone on as a coach. I've always been sort of stuck in my way of training, and this time round, my second attempt at Pro Raw, I've decided, nope, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to take on Paul as a physiotherapist who's going to help me with all my body, but also.
Don't you think, Adam, it's because indirectly he's kind of proven himself to you?
Yeah. I mean,
he's a knowledgeable guy.
I'm keeping Paul on, helping me with that, and also I have now a proper coach, who I've been now with for maybe almost 2 months already, and he's we've got a full timeline laid out of what we're going to hit and when we're going to hit it.
I love that.
And
that's cool.
So that coach is Will Crozier, who's currently the Australian best powerlifter in the 110 kilo class, winning last year, which was an amazing win, by the way, if you ever want to watch that. He won by 2.5 kilos and it was amazing.
So in that discipline, is 2.5 kilos, is that just a lot?
No, it's nothing.
Or it's it's so tiny
it's
that it's...
so tiny, he just got across the line. So it was amazing that he won. He ended up lifting, was it 55 kilograms more on the deadlift in the second place just for the win. Like he ended up lifting 387 kilos for the deadlift.
Wow, smashing
crazy,
it.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I've taken on a really good coach, and he's directing me in the right way with everything, and I am very thankful to have him. And it was really difficult for me to let go of the reins and say, I'm going to
invest in someone else and trust in someone else.
I'm going to put the trust in you.
It's really been the best thing for you though. You've done so well these last few weeks, just having someone even to talk to, if something's gone wrong. I think
that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is
if you ever had a bad day of your training, you literally, even the whole way that Will has his Facebook set up for you is amazing. He sends through each of his lifts every day onto this Facebook page. That's right. Yeah, and then
and we just sort of
how
talk
does
about
it feel? Yeah. So even just letting Adam, talk it out.
And
so he doesn't dump it on you, Jessica.
Well, I never really did dump it on Jessica. That was sort of my issue. I never really put it out to anyone. I just sort of held on to it.
Whiz it around in your head.
And then and I still remember the day I decided to take Will on as coach. I wanted to go for this big squat, and I wanted to go to Padded Performance. It was the first time we're actually going to Padded Performance, which is Paul's gym. I was so excited. I didn't sleep a wink the night before, right? And we went there, and I was nervous, and I was a different environment, and I ended up hurting my quad quite a bit. Not my knees, but actually ended up doing a little tear to my quad. And it was a really wake-up call. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just pushing the limit as hard as I can with no real direction.
Yeah.
So let's, take on someone who's the best in the country, and let's get some pure guidance. I really knew, and I really trusted my ability in coaching, but it's very different at those numbers and at that level. So
sometimes you don't see things clearly though. Because like you said, you can stay in your own head, and it's good to hash things out with someone else.
I think the biggest thing for me is I was still using the same approach at 300 plus kilograms that I was using at 200 plus kilograms, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And when you're at 200 kilograms, you can sort of get away with a lot. But when you're at 300 and, you got to really work on your recovery, you got to really focus on everything. You got to do your warm up, Jessica.
Yes.
you know, you got to do all these things that are really important. And then, you know, as the weights get heavier, that becomes even more important.
Totally, yeah.
So, like, you know, coaching someone, you know, to get to the first 100 kilo squat is so easy because, you know, it doesn't require too much. To get to 200 is a bit more difficult, and then 300 again. You need a whole different program, a whole different approach.
That's really interesting.
That's what I've really been learning from him.
No, that's cool. Jessica.
So Adam did prep me for my last show, which undoubtedly, like, I looked, you know, as we said, my best. Yes. But I was just finding, I mean, anyone who has, I don't know, been prepped by a friend or partner of some sort, it can get a little bit difficult. I just found myself, I wasn't complying. I was making excuses. He would, you know, he was telling me all these things. He was giving me, you know, what I needed to do, but I found myself, I wasn't sticking to it, and I wasn't, you know,
almost self-sabotaging because...
Yeah. It was actually Adam's idea. You know, he said to me one day, Jessica, I think you need to get a coach.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought, like, you know, I definitely believe in my ability to get you to the point. I mean, I proved it. I mean, I got you lean last time and you looked amazing, but you got to follow it. You know? And we ended up getting coaches at the same time.
Yeah.
So I took on Will and you took on Chris, and again, like you said, like that's the best thing that we both did.
That's
we took
awesome.
the stress out of the relationship and put it onto someone else.
Well, you're paying for it. Yeah. So like, and that's the thing as well. Like, you know, it can be very difficult, and you know, you've still got a relationship that you've got to nourish and look after. And if you're constantly just talking about a prep, you can really kind of get a bit distant from each other. Yeah. So I don't know if that's such a good thing. I mean, of course there's exceptions to the rule, but I think that sounds really smart. And not only that, but Adam, it kind of gives you the opportunity to relax and just focus on your stuff.
Yeah.
So you can both sort of start to achieve great things, you know, together.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
He's, I mean, even just how long? I suppose I've been with him about the same time.
Same time, yeah.
2 months.
You look completely different.
Yeah, so he's helped me so much just get back into a good shape again, and
good routine. And
and just something
Jessica,
different.
you're a bit like me. Once the competition finishes, you're just like,
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing now?
You let go of the reins and you eat.
I actually took this year off completely with bodybuilding, which was unplanned, but just kind of happened again. I wasn't complying with what Adam was giving me for my prep. So I thought, hire a coach, let's aim for, you know, a show further down the track to allow myself to have, you know, a really, really good long prep because I need it. I need to get myself into that good routine and then have enough time to diet down properly without having to end up on, you know, ridiculous amount of calories. Yeah. So I'm also going to be doing the Arnold's, but the bodybuilding show. So Chris will be prepping me
for that.
A very big weekend for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be huge.
Well, the girls usually go, I am sure, on the Saturday for the bodybuilding, and then, or even the Friday, I think. So
normally bikini in the men's physique is on the Friday. Yeah. You'll probably find that the women's physique will probably be on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So you guys might be competing at exactly the same time. Yeah. Because they're kind of the biggest categories for that.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Get it filmed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's the difficulty. But more than likely, I would expect to be on stage at probably exactly the same time.
I'll be rushing between lifts there to see Jessica on stage.
I'll be doing the same for you.
You need someone setting up a camera and just live feeding it, like live stream. Well, it is live stream.
The only thing is, before every lift of Adam's, he gets a good luck kiss. So if we miss the good luck kiss, then it's all over.
Shit, don't tell
Who else can give you the good luck kiss? Surely there's someone else. Get Paul to give you the good luck kiss. He'll do it. He'll take one for the team. I know it. Guys, got any personal question? Any relationship horror stories whilst prepping? Any times where you wanted to kill each other?
Well, the first show.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, let me talk. So when we prepped for the bodybuilding, the powerlifting show, the first show that we did together, that was an interesting prep for both of us. It was hard. It was honestly hard doing it together.
That was a good prep for me because it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
I used a approach. I got some guidance from someone. I wouldn't necessarily say I got a coach, but
Still wasn't ready for a coach.
yeah, I couldn't give up.
Still bouncing ideas off.
Yeah, I got some guidance. I couldn't quite give it up completely, but I definitely got some guidance. And it was a approach that, got me lean, and I was really happy with my performance. But I probably not the approach that I would use again.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know, Adam, unless you try it.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you can cancel it out.
I mean, we survived, that's for sure. But
basically, this approach was like 0 carbohydrates for the entire week.
Yeah.
And then like a big load up on the weekend. And I think
deal well with
I think probably Friday came along or Thursday, and Jessica just copped it.
The monster.
Yeah.
I said after that, I was like, I'm never doing a show with you again. Banned from
I pretty
us.
much hate you right now.
Yeah.
So I'm all for the powerlifting and him eating as much food as he wants, and I'll prep for the bodybuilding.
He's much happier like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Enjoys his pizzas twice a week.
Jessica
nice.
and brought out like a lasagna to me. The whole lasagna was like, here you go.
Yeah, I'm feeding him right now.
Yeah.
Happy Adam.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, it was good experience to do it together, and still being on stage together was that was pretty cool doing that. Both.
Because you both wore pink.
Yeah,
that
we
was
did.
awesome.
Yeah, Adam had his pink
Posing trunks,
Posing
and you had
trunks,
your pink figure suit.
We walked away with four medals, which was really, really cool. And then we both went up to nationals and competed at nationals as well.
Yeah.
Just the whole experience was awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's funny how during the prep you're probably hating on each other, but
Show
on the
day
day it's really
different.
nice.
It's really
yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
And then we went
special.
on holiday. We always, it's kind of like a tradition now, I guess. We prep for a show, and then we go on holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to Thailand, and that wasn't a great experience, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was my first, I guess, I'd never really travelled anywhere apart from Australia and New Zealand. So it was my first, big trip, I would say, and we got really sick. Just obviously finishing a bodybuilding show. Never been to a country like that, and I just went crazy. The pancakes,
I think it was the pancakes that set us off.
Yeah.
That was a bad sickness.
But anyway, it was a good holiday, kind of. But tradition.
So you just both sick together, and that was awesome.
It was not good. But then, since then,
no.
the last 2 times we've gone to Bali because it just seems a bit safer.
It's not jinxed.
Yeah, it's not jinxed. Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on My Posing Coach podcast.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. If you, obviously you do online coaching. Obviously you've got a new business venture coming up. If people want to get in contact with you, how do they go about that?
So through our Instagram account, which is Bondi Strength Coach, and we also have our website, which is bondistrengthcoach.com.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
Again, it was great having you on. And guys, if you need to get in contact with me, you can contact me via Instagram or Facebook, My Posing Coach, and also via my website, myposingcoach.com. Thanks for listening. Bye.